Hey guys, Zomfox here, and today we are here for the USFL's first ever Tank Bowl. This matchup is going to be one for the ages, between two teams that are desperately in need of a victory. Not for just the moral support, not for the idea of to see who's for the future of the franchise, but since the USFL has already shown during the year they pretty much don't care about the rules they set from the beginning, and are willing to change at any course, Daryl Johnson has recently announced that the winner of this game, not the loser, will secure the first overall pick and first pick in every round of the 2023 USFL draft, meaning that whoever wins this game actually deserves the first pick. On one side, we have the technical visiting team in the Michigan Panthers. This team is led here by Coach Jeff Fisher, who has pretty much proven that his quarterback memes are true. He has had to start 3 separate quarterbacks and play 4, and today, his golden goose is going to be former Broncos forgotten draft bust Paxton Lynch. Lynch has only played a couple games as a starter, gotten injured multiple times, and has underperformed in every game he's played. Aside from him, they have the lone player on the All-USFL team in running back Reggie Corbin. Hopefully, they are hoping that he was able to carry this team, as the only other player that is known by most people is Frank Gidna, their solid linebacker who has pretty much led the team in tackles since week 1, since this team has pretty much had no one else. As for the Pittsburgh Maulers, the defunct home team, they are led by the man who caused Pizzagate single-handedly, Kirby Wilson. The man who was only known as a running backs coach, and some people, including myself, thought he would be not nearly ready for this job, and he has proved me right. He has been consistently viewed as the worst coach in this league, but has a chance to prove that maybe he's not. He is coming in with his quarterback tandem of Vad Lee and Roland Rivers. If you've never heard of either of these guys, I don't blame you. They have both been pretty much duds in the USFL itself, aside from one single pass Vad Lee had back like 4 weeks ago. This team is pretty much led here by, their quarterbacks, if you want to call them that, and their lone All-USFL team selection in safety Bryce Tornadin. Aside from that, this team has pretty much no one else that can be viewed even as a remote star, as most of them keep getting hurt. The only guy that people might know of is Amis Rahmed, who is pretty much their only solid special teamer, and even then, that's being generous considering he misses almost as much as he makes long field goals. This team is definitely one to battle the Panthers. The winner of this game will secure the first overall pick in the 2023 draft. Let's see who will do this in, the off-brand Tank Bowl, the USFL's first ever Tank Bowl. Michigan kicks the ball off, and we're hoping for a game that will be competitive. It shows that it might be competitive as both teams combined for just 2 first downs on their first 2 possessions. But on the Panthers' first possession after punting the ball, Isaiah Henney decides it's a nice idea to give the ball right back to Michigan after he fumbles it at the 20-yard line. Literally just 2 minutes later, the Michigan Panthers are able to score a touchdown, courtesy of Paxton Lynch passing to Ishmael Hyman in the end zone to give the team a nice 7-0 lead after Cole Murphy hit his extra point. On the very ensuing drive, the Maulers are able to charge down the field, end up getting to Michigan's 40, and decide it once again would be very kind to give the ball right back to Michigan, failing to understand that this isn't a usual Tank Bowl, that you need to actually score to win the first overall pick. Instead, the team that scores is Michigan on an insane 60-plus yard fumble recovery touchdown. After that, Pittsburgh gets the ball back and tries their best to actually score, but instead just wastes 3 minutes on 5 plays and do nothing. As for Michigan, they end up getting the ball, have one insane play thanks to Stevie Scott, and thanks to that, they are able to score another touchdown, courtesy of Paxton Lynch throwing to Lance Lenore to give him a 21-0 lead. Both teams then do literally nothing, and it ends up giving Pittsburgh the ball at the 39-yard line of Michigan. They end up using that entire time to spend 3 minutes and 40 seconds to get stalled out in the red zone and end up kicking a field goal to at least get some points to make themselves feel good. After that, the Panthers get the ball back, and pretty much with no time left, end up throwing an interception for no reason that just ends the half. The second half opens with Michigan getting the ball to try and increase their lead to even more points. All that ends up happening is they get to a 4th down, end up failing, and instead get sacked. Pittsburgh does nothing with the next possession, gives it right back to Michigan, where once again another 30-yard plus pass happens, and they are back at Pittsburgh's 50. They then spend multiple minutes to go down the field to just 2 minutes and 40 seconds, end up failing at the red zone, and end up kicking a field goal to put them at 24-3. The Pittsburgh Maulers are able to return fire and score their first ever touchdown of the Tank Bowl, able to score 1 touchdown courtesy of Roland Rivers, and when they attempt a 3-point conversion, they end up failing. That is something that will be helpful for later. Michigan returns fire and does nothing in 3 plays. On their punt, they do an unnecessary roughness and give 15 free yards to the Pittsburgh Maulers. Now they're able to start the drive at just the 38 of Michigan. They end up scoring a touchdown as Vadley's pass to Henne ends up scoring to put them at a 24-15. Why? Because they go for a 2-point conversion attempt and end up failing that too. That will also be helpful for later. Michigan then returns fire by scoring their own touchdown on a 75-yard touchdown drive, as Paxton Lynch throws another touchdown to give him a 30-15 lead thanks to Cole Murphy missing the extra point. Pittsburgh then responds and in just 7 plays are able themselves to score another touchdown. And just like before, they failed a 2-point conversion, making it the 3rd time that they have failed any sort of conversion play. Pittsburgh then tries to have any hope to win this game by going for the alternate kickoff, end up failing, give the ball to Michigan, and Michigan does nothing but ends up getting a field goal thanks to the short fieldage to put them up 33-21. Pittsburgh, on their last-ditch attempt to try and make this game close, end up wasting about a minute to just throw another interception. And with that, the game ends thanks to Michigan being able to punt the ball away to safely win the game 33-21. And with that, the Michigan Panthers have officially won the USFL's inaugural Tank Bowl. Not only have they won the inaugural Tank Bowl in the inaugural season, and the last game for them in the season, they have also secured the first overall pick and first pick in every single round of the 2023 USFL Draft. What makes this incredibly funny is just like the rest of the season, the Pittsburgh Maulers started terrible and pretty much never recovered. They ended up leaving 3 separate conversion attempts, 1-3 and 2-2 on the board, which if they had gotten all of those would have been an extra 7 points to their total to make that final drive a bit less needy to score. Instead, they ended up heading into that last drive where they threw an interception down 12, when if they had just kicked PATs, they would have only been down by about 7 in a 1-score game, so they wouldn't have had to go super fast down the field. Overall, bad decisions led to their team going away, but at the end of the day, bad decisions is all this team is known for. This team will be remembered for one thing above all, and that is Pizzagate, where they cut who was supposed to be their star running back, Devion Smith, for the apparent reason that he wanted pizza over chicken salad. As for the Michigan Panthers, they have now secured the first overall pick in next year's draft, and more importantly, have potentially found a quarterback for next year in Paxton Lynch, who ended up actually having a solid game overall, all things considered. His stats were pretty solid, and he played as solid as his stats show. He had 22 completions out of 30 for 73 completion percentage, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick for a 120 QBR. Especially considering the fact that Reggie Corbin, their supposed star running back, didn't have a good game, and their best rusher was Stevie Scott, and Paxton Lynch was better, shows that this team was able to win without having to rely on a single running back. As for defense, Frank Gittin proved once again to be a solid linebacker, having 8 total tackles. As for the Maulers, they did Mauler things. They ended up pretty much doing nothing, except that Roland Rivers had a solid game himself and definitely outplayed Vad Lee. Hopefully, for the Maulers' sake, they'll have a quarterback for next year. But overall, I don't know about that for sure. The Maulers ended up losing this Tank Bowl and ended up finishing as the only team to win just 1 game of the season. They ended up having what is pretty easy to say the worst coach, the worst quarterback rotation in the whole league, and to put it simply, nothing really that good about them. All they'll be known for is their kicker kicking a couple long field goals and blowing multiple different games that they could have won if they played just a tiny bit better. Overall, this has been ZomFox. If you enjoyed my content, want me notified as soon as I upload a video, and are ready for next year when we have another Tank Bowl, hopefully. I guess I'll see you guys next time. Have a great night. See you guys.